1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Here, the Photonics21 Annual Meeting, and here with Jacques Cochard, the CEO of Tematys. Today, Tematys gave a very interesting presentation about the current market for photonics in Europe. Jacques, what are the main takeaways of the meeting so far?
I think the main takeaway is there are some points where Europe is really strong and they should keep strong. For example, in machine vision, health, medical technology, we keep a good market share in the last 20 years and we have to continue to keep that. I discussed yesterday with one guy explaining to me that an endoscope manufacturer in Europe will stop its production because norms and the homologation process becomes too high in Europe to continue to be present on this market, and it's really something you have to think about that. How can we not fight against our best players?
Yesterday, we were discussing about the communication problem that the photonics industry has. What do you think the politicians, the private investors, the public fund suppliers, what do you think they don't understand about photonics technology?
I think it's not the problem of photonics, it's the problem of more generally of deep tech. The potential of this technology is very high, but you have to go deeper inside to understand where does this potential come from. And we see my colleague present slides where you see that we have similar market shares than US in terms of photonics market, and the private investors, they invest 5-fold more in VC, in startups and so on. So it's really not understood. I think it's a problem of culture, of a scientific culture of the VC. We now start to have a first generation of CEO which ramp up their startup in 2000. They sold in 2015. So we now have this generation, and I really hope that it will give a good impulse to the VC funding. I remember one point from Zeiss yesterday mentioning that there is some mentoring and some investing from large players in Europe that should be, I think, more deeper done.
Managers and researchers at Zeiss want to push the boundaries of what is physically possible. In order to maintain its place at the helm of optical technologies, Zeiss is investing over 300 million euros at its founding site in Jena, where a brand new production facility is being built. The high-tech complex is characterized by its networked architecture. It's divided into 2 ground floors integrated into the hillside for production, laboratories and infrastructure, as well as 7 superimposed corpuses.
This is the country of Nokia, Trumpf, Zeiss, Jenoptik. We have large optics and photonics companies here. But when we say that we have the same market share as in the US they have Google, they have Meta. Why do you think we don't have companies in the room such as Deutsche Telekom or Telefonica?
You have to ask to them.
Good morning, everybody. I hope the energy is in the room. I'm not talking about politics today. I'm talking about the future of our industry. And what is the biggest elephant for telcos this day? It's artificial intelligence. AI, which is, we use for FTTH build-out as well. 1.5 million cost savings just in the first 6 months since we have deployed this tool in the build-out for our technicians on the site. And by the way, most of the day, our network is not utilized. By the way, the network is on. Energy saving is a big topic for us, especially in Europe, after we have faced this explosion of energy costs throughout the last, 2 years. With this tool, we are able to switch off sites, TRXs, elements of our antennas during the day or in the evening when there's no capacity needed. We had already energy savings of 16 gigawatt hours in Germany, which is equivalent to 10,000 households, covered by electricity throughout a year. 50 million savings just in the first year of an AI automated steering of our mobile sites in the European and the German footprint. I talked about the Global Alliance, where we built our own LLM, and this is taking place with Etisalat, together with SoftBank, together with SK, who is the main driver of it, Singtel and Deutsche Telekom, because we do not want to become dependent on the hyperscalers alone. We want to build our own system. We want to refine it in the way how we want to have our reasoning, than a reasoning coming from the outside. I think we understand our world better, and therefore we have to train the model ourselves. Maybe at a later stage, happy to invite other telcos to this alliance as well.
It is difficult to match the photonics capabilities with the need of end users. And I think that's what we are missing, to communicate with kind of things that we can do to the end users in Europe. I see the large multinationals more engaged in, at least in the US.
It's some issues that we can fight. So I take the example of Zeiss, which is really working with startups very soon in the process, and they continue to help them by supplying and so on. But it's right. We tried in France 10 years ago to propose some mentoring and sharing. In photonics, the large players are making a lot of profit. It's not we are not doing 2% profit each year. There is a lot of profit, and this profit, if a small part of this profit from large company could be devoted to nurture an ecosystem with a small players and so on, I think there is something which could be perhaps more useful than the VC part, because we see in the last 20 years VC model is not successful in Europe. So perhaps we have to try something else, and perhaps a large corporation financing model would be a good way to think about the future.
Jacques, this year we have been talking a lot about the CHIPS Act. Photonic integrated circuits should find their way into the semicon industry. I see this as a potential risk for the laser industry, which also optics and photonics, as photonic integrated circuits. Earlier this year, we published the laser report from Tematys. It's accessible for all Optica Corporate members, optica.org/market reports. What do you think we should do to get also the laser industry more engaged into public funds?
Honestly, the CHIPS Act is very good when you are doing the semiconductor, when you are in integrated photonics. But a strong part of photonics, of European photonics, it's in microscopy, it's spectroscopy. Perhaps you will be integrated spectroscopy, but you have a lot of things which are not in the CHIPS Act. And what we see as an observator of this is that the CHIPS Act is missing a strong part of the photonics community, and we worry about the possibility to see a lot of fundings moving down to the integrated part, which is good. You have to fund that, but you don't forget all the other part.
And it's enabling, of course, the manufacturing of automotive, key for the European industry, climate control,
sensors. So you will have small smart sensors, but you have NDIR and a lot of sensors that are not entering in this CHIPS Act, but that are very interesting for the European photonics industry and for climate control and climate change.
The conversation is just starting. If you want to continue seeing how this conversation evolves, 1st and 2nd of October, the Global Photonics Economic Forum in Malaga. Jacques, I hope I'll see you there.
I will be there.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Thank you. I hope to see your name on the list, because we need to see you in person to add your voice to Malaga. This is the event for serious business.